Time for the Power to Connect with Angela Ray.
One of the reasons I'm here in the Pacific Northwest is because of the aesthetics. I wanted trees, and I wanted beautiful trees all the time. It's called the Evergreen State because it does rain a lot, but that makes it evergreen. You know, I don't want to take that away. Just the aesthetics, just in front of me is just a bunch of trees, and it makes me feel good and peaceful. And I want that for other folks. I want more people of color to be able to see the outdoors as something that is for them. And like you said, and find ways to use it for them.
Yeah, is very important. We call it in the academia field place-based education. And when you think about it, is not always trying to take people outside of their element and saying this is better. It's like showing them what is existing in their neighborhood and how we can improve and not only improve, but how we can bring things back. Like restoring, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you know, restoring the salmon creeks and streams, you know, native plants, planting them. It's finding the connection to the land right where you are. But yeah, I mean, we can go out to Mount Rainier or here to the Chattahoochee. That's not too far. We can go to the Utoy Creek. A lot of people don't know that Atlanta has a waterfall that is here, that is in the city. So there's
let me stop you for a second, because what you're talking about doing is what this podcast is all about. It is the power to connect. And what you're talking to us about is connecting with nature, connecting with the environment and using that, partnering, how about that, with the environment? Yes. And using that, you know, to help propel us. Yes,
we have to. It feeds us and we feed it. It is definitely a circle, but we can be a virus to nature and take away too much. Mm-hmm. And we know
that's where education is key. James, that's why education is key, because again, a lot of times as people of color, we see climate issues as, well, white people issue. And you know, climate injustice, environmental, it's the way sometimes things are talked about or the words that are used. We need to find out how our communities want to be educated about these issues. And then we need to proceed that way, because there's so much that impacts us, whether we're talking about food deserts, you know, not having a grocery store around, you just have a 7-Eleven and a McDonald's. Daycare deserts, we're talking health disparities. There's so much that involves our people, and we have been, you know, disproportionately impacted by environmental stuff that we do along with everyone else.
Think about it. Majority of Black folks live along the coast. Mm-hmm. When you talk about Miami, when you talk about New York, when you talk about New Orleans, LA, you have these Black meccas that are around there. When climate change hit and the sea levels rise, it's going to impact these individuals. And we hope and we pray that our representatives have an emergency plan, because there are a lot of African Americans or a lot of individuals or poor people that depends on mass transit.
That's right.
And if you don't have a car, how are you going to get to a safer location?
That's right.
And everybody can't just weigh it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when we have to think about these things, and we have to think about in these urban city plans, like how do we bring back those natural resources that will help with these hurricanes and everything else? Why are we taking away all of these trees?
Why?
We have to think about that. Why we can't plant around? Why we can't build around these trees? What is other innovative ways that we can do so? Everybody can't be on the beach.
That's right.
I understand we should take away access to the beach, but every hotel can't be along the beach. Yep. Because taking away the valuable intersection between the ocean and lakes and everything else, the swamps, or that intercoastal portion that is important to nature, in which we can recreate and play in as well. So these things are not taught to us because a couple of things. There's a lot of historical things. Point blank period.
Point blank period.
Just restoration, Jim Crow.
Oh, come on.
Negro parks.
Come on.
And some of the Negro parks was elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was just down in Florida, and then they said that, you know, at one point in time, to keep the Negroes away from the beach, they built them pools. And then years later, when they didn't want them in pools, what did they do? They filled the pools up with dirt.
We're always respected, always so respected. Jeez Louise. You know,
and these stories are not told. And they should be told. One, they should be told because we shouldn't do it to anybody else in the generation that comes after us.
That's right.
Two, it should be told because we had some fighters who fought for us to be at the beach, to learn, to be lifeguards, like to hear about the lifeguards that was down in Florida. At one point in time, it was a lot of lifeguards that were Black, boaters that was Black, and everything else. There's a lot of industry.
Where was that?
Taken away from.
Did you say Miami?
We was down in close to Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale.
I know. Where I used to be a news anchor. And what?
So the park is called Dr. Von D. Meisel Eula Johnson State Park.
They got a lot of people's names in there. We got one park for y'all. We're gonna put everybody's name on it.
Yo, but this is a beautiful park. It has trees on the beach. It's shaded. It is lovely. Is lovely right down below Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful historical park that a lot of African Americans used to go and have fun.
But I lived there for like, I never heard of this.
It is.
That's crazy.
When I went down there, I had some Morehouse brothers that never heard of the park as well until I brought it up.
What would we do without you, huh? What would we do without you?
Don't forget to subscribe to The Power to Connect with Angela Ray and follow her on Facebook. You can also stay connected on Twitter and Instagram at angelaray.com.